Lily Caldwell always greeted dawn with reverence. Living in Petalwood Grove, where apple blossoms dotted the paths in spring and the roads were lined with homey pastel cottages, gave her 1,000 reasons to rise early. That morning, she unrolled her lavender yoga mat in the backyard of her bungalow, which overlooked a narrow stream and a row of lilac bushes. She closed her eyes and began a slow sun salutation, grounding her feet in the dew-kissed grass. Warmth spread across her shoulders as she felt the early light mingle with the peace of her breath. This was her daily ritual, her outward sign of gratitude for a life in a village known for cozy secrets and gentle gossip. Inside her home, a shelf of old cassette tapes beckoned. Lily's prized possession was a set given to her by her former instructor, the late Miss Claudine Price, the one who had planted the first seeds of Lily's yogic journey. Each cassette contained guided mediations that Miss Price had recorded over the years. They were favourites of Lily's, though she'd lately noticed a peculiar whirring noise in the background whenever she played them. Little did she know, that faint sound concealed something far more mysterious than static or the humming of a faulty microphone. After her morning stretch, Lily tidied up the small studio space in her living room. Rows of mats, yoga blocks, and meditation cushions made the place feel peaceful and orderly. She would greet her first student soon, a friend named April Witherspoon, who was always punctual. Lily mentally rehearsed the beginner-friendly yoga sequence they'd been working on: cobra pose, downward dog, warrior, and then a mindful meditation to wrap it up. Meanwhile, that intriguing set of tapes kept drawing her gaze. Mrs. Price had entrusted them to Lily in her will, scrawling in her neat cursive on the cover, "Keep listening and you will find your path." Lily had always considered that a sentimental message, never more. April arrived in a whirl of excitement, shrugging off her green cardigan. "Morning, Lily," she said, rolling out her mat. "I had a weird dream last night. I was in a library made of mirrors, searching for a hidden treasure. When I finally found a clue, I woke up." She shook her head with a grin. "Dreams, right?" Lily chuckled, though a curious shiver travelled through her. She believed in omens, a leftover from her days studying with Miss Price, who relied on dream journaling as part of spiritual practice. "Maybe it's a sign. Let's get started and see if we can conjure more serenity than illusions." After their poses and breathing exercises, Lily told April to lie flat, close her eyes, and listen to Miss Price's guided meditation. She popped one of the cassettes into a dusty tape player. The gentle hum of Miss Price's reassuring voice drifted into the room. "You are grounded. Your breath is your anchor." But Lily's senses twitched at the odd warbling in the background. She paused the tape, removed it, and inspected the spool. It was old, but appeared intact. Sighing, Lily slipped it back inside and pressed play once more. At the session's conclusion, April sat up slowly, blinking as though she'd awakened from a trance. "That's such a calming tape, Lily. But did you hear that strange noise? It sounded like someone talking in reverse." A gust of wind rustled the curtains. Lily frowned. "I heard it. An odd sort of distortion, maybe. Miss Price left these to me, but they've never done that before." April shrugged, curious but not overly concerned. After all, Petalwood Grove was a small place, and small oddities often came and went like fleeting breezes. Together, they decided to meet for coffee later at the Honeycomb Cafe, leaving Lily alone with the player and the whispering suspicion that something unusual was hidden in the background of Miss Price tapes. That afternoon, Lily went to the local library. She hoped old Mr. Pendleton, the library caretaker, could help her figure out if the warbling background noise was more than a mere glitch. The Petalwood Grove Library was a historic building with stained glass windows, its shelves filled with whimsical mysteries and genealogical records of the town's earliest settlers. Inside, she caught Mr. Pendleton reshelving a stack of dusty books. "Mr. Pendleton, I have a bit of an odd question about cassettes," said Lily. She recounted the story of her yoga tapes and the reversed-sounding voice. The older man adjusted his wire-rimmed glasses and grinned. He loved any puzzle that involved a hint of secrecy. "I've seen a fair share of unusual recordings in my time. Bring one of the tapes here. I'll use our cassette duplicator to see if we can isolate the second track. Some older recordings have separate channels for voice and background music. Sometimes folks recorded messages backward to hide them." Lily blinked in surprise, feeling a tickle of excitement. "Hide 'em? You mean like a secret message?" "Oh, it's definitely been done before," he said with a wink. "Bring it by tomorrow. We'll try to see if anything's there. Meanwhile, keep an ear out for any more clues." Tucking that promise in her mind, Lily headed to the Honeycomb Cafe. She found April at the corner table, sipping an iced latte topped with whipped cream. Outside the window, people strolled over cobblestone paths, stopping to admire potted geraniums or chatter about the local farmer's market. It all felt so quaintly Petalwood Grove, innocence on the surface, with possible wonders beneath. "So," asked April, stirring her drink excitedly, "did you find out anything from Mr. Pendleton? I'm dying to know." "Not yet, but he'll help tomorrow," Lily replied. She paused. "April, if there's a hidden message, don't you think it's odd that Miss Price never told me about it?" April leaned forward, pushing a strand of red hair from her face. She was a bit eccentric, wasn't she? Maybe she forgot to mention it. Or she wanted you to discover it in your own time. That evening, after a full day of teaching yoga classes and greeting familiar faces, Lily lingered in her living room with the tape player. She hesitated, then placed the cassette in once more, letting Miss Price's calm voice fill the silence. "Gently close your eyes, breathe in through the nose, follow the gentle waves of thought." Lily pressed her ear close, trying to ignore the soothing instructions and focus on the background murmur. Beneath Miss Price's words, there was an unmistakable low chanting, reversed. She pressed the pause button, breath catching. Could the rumor be true? Were there instructions hidden in reverse? She stayed up far too late, rewinding and replaying the tape, attempting to catch even a single word. She caught fragments that could almost be sentences, but they were muddled. Her curiosity roared to life. If it truly was a hidden message, was it personal? Miss Price had mentioned a path, but never specified what Lily was supposed to find at the end of that journey. The next morning, Lily steered her bright lime-green bicycle toward the library, shifting nervously as she balanced her yoga bag and the cassette in its case. The streets were already buzzing with neighbors out for morning walks, greetings exchanged left and right. Petalwood Grove was indeed a friendly town. Still, Lily couldn't brush off a slight nudge of anxiety. If there was a secret in these tapes, she had no idea what it meant or whether it was something Miss Price hadn't been comfortable revealing in person. She slipped inside the library's heavy oak doors. Mr. Pendleton was waiting by the front desk, an ancient cassette duplicator at the ready. He gently placed the tape in, pressing buttons in a methodical sequence. Static crackled through a pair of battered headphones. Slowly. A strange swirl of reversed speech crackled in the hush of the library. Lily watched intently as Mr. Pendleton's brows furrowed. After a few moments, he flipped a switch, forcing the audio to play in reverse, which would restore the hidden message to normal speed. He moved the headphones toward Lily's ears. "Have a listen." Lily's hands trembled slightly as she held them. The static hiss gave way to Miss Price's unmistakable voice, now speaking in a low, cryptic tone. "If you wish to prosper, follow the path of the arms of the oak. Beneath the blossoms you will find a fortune, though it may look like just another garden. Seek the stone etched with a rose. Your next clue awaits you there." Lily pulled the headphones off, heart pounding. "What does that mean? Beneath the blossoms you'll find a fortune?" Mr. Pendleton shrugged, the excitement clear on his face. "Sounds like it's referencing something here in Petalwood Grove. We have plenty of oaks. The library's front yard alone has 2 massive ones. But Miss Price loved flowers. Maybe there's something about the rose or the blossoms that leads to a garden." Lily's mind raced. A lost portion of local law, perhaps? She glanced at Mr. Pendleton. "I need to find out if there's more hidden on the other tapes." That night, Lily and Mr. Pendleton stayed in the library after closing hours, with the lights dimmed and the hush of old books enfolding them. 3 more tapes revealed additional fragments of Miss Price's reversed instructions. Each snippet seemed like part of a treasure map, describing a path through Petalwood Grove's gardens and forests. Lily recognized references to local landmarks: the old orchard near Elm Road, the stone birdbath in the Memorial Park, and the antique fountain behind the Historical Society's building. By the end of it, Lily had a small notepad scrawled with cryptic lines: "Arms of the oak, stone etched with a rose, birdsong at midday, fountain light at dusk." The final tape had a chilling last line: "Find the fortune, but be warned, not all that glitters is gold in the secret garden's hold." Lily and Mr. Pendleton exchanged glances. "Could Miss Price have hidden something that belonged to her family?" he asked. "She never had children, so maybe you were like the daughter she never had. She entrusted you to find this fortune." "But a fortune of what? Money? Gems?" Lily shook her head, astounded by the notion. "I only know Miss Price wasn't wealthy. She lived modestly, taught yoga, and spent her days traveling or meditating. Could there be an older family secret we never knew?" The next day, Lily confided in April, sharing the revelations. They decided the best approach was to follow the clues step by step. Just after lunchtime, the 2 friends set off together, wearing comfortable walking shoes and carrying a small backpack with a flashlight, water, and Lily's notepad. Their starting point was the grand oak near the library, which had 2 massive branches reaching over the sidewalk. A small historical plaque said the tree was over a century old. Armed with Miss Price's cryptic lines, Lily thought of the phrase, "Follow the path of the arms of the oak." The largest branch extended toward a small clearing behind the library. Lily pointed and they headed that way. The clearing led them to a lovely expanse of wildflowers: lavender, daisies, and, more prominently, roses. In the center stood a rough-hewn stone pedestal, etched with a rose motif. "This must be the stone Miss Price spoke of," said Lily, kneeling to inspect it. She ran her finger along the carved petals. At the base, she discovered worn lettering that read, "One day the rose will bloom anew." Oddly poetic, but no immediate clue. April scoured the grass around them until her foot bumped something half buried, an old brass key, tarnished green from the elements. "Do you think this is it?" April held the key with trembling curiosity. "It must be." Lily carefully cleaned it off, reading a single letter pressed into the side: C. They followed the next clue from the reverse tapes: birdsong at midday. In Petalwood Grove, the Memorial Park was the best spot to appreciate birdsong. The park's central feature was a big birdbath statue, surrounded by benches in memory of the town's founders. They arrived just as the clock on the town hall chimed noon. Birds soared overhead, and a cardinal swooped down to sip water from the stone basin. Lily watched, pale with excitement, as she bent to see if there was a spot to use the key. Sure enough, carved into the birdbath pedestal was a discreet keyhole. With surprising ease, the tarnished key slid in. A satisfying click sounded. The base of the birdbath shifted, revealing a hidden compartment. Inside was a small metal box, sealed shut. April's eyes widened. A hidden box? Gingerly, Lily pried it open. It held only a slip of folded paper. Her heart sank for a moment. This was no glittering treasure. She opened it, reading Miss Price's neat handwriting. "In the light of the fountain at dusk, you will find the final secret. The fortune is not always money, dear Lily. You must trust your inner wisdom." Though perplexed, Lily felt a surge of tenderness. Miss Price had left not just a puzzle, but a spiritual lesson of sorts. Cherishing the note, she and April headed toward the Historical Society's fountain, which was a well-known landmark. By day, it looked ordinary, an antique stone structure with sculpted dolphins. But at dusk, the setting sun angled its light through the fountain spray, casting a prism of dancing rainbows. They lingered there, munching on granola bars and discussing Miss Price's intentions. As the sun dipped below the horizon, a gentle splash of the fountain drew their attention. The rainbow glimmer lit up a single stone panel near the base. On it, an outline formed in the fading sunlight, like etching on invisible ink. Lily gasped. Though faint, a shape emerged. A lotus flower carved in the stone. Beneath it was a small line of text that read, "Look to the garden behind the daisies." Recognizing the final clue, they remembered that Miss Price once cultivated a secluded meditation garden near her old cottage on the outskirts of town. That place was rumored to hold her greatest secrets. Lily had never ventured there, but she had heard Miss Price talk about its daisies, always in bloom. They hurried there, just as the last rays of twilight lingered, painting the horizon with gentle pinks. Sure enough, Miss Price's cottage lay quiet and vacant. Behind it, an overgrown path led to a garden, but the daisies remained, tall and cheerful, a sea of white petals bobbing in the evening breeze. Lily scanned the area, searching for anything out of place. April pointed to an ornamental stone bench half hidden by climbing ivy. Beneath the daisies near that bench, Lily spotted a patch of earth that seemed recently disturbed, although recently was a relative term, given Miss Price had passed some months ago. "There's something under there," Lily said, voice taut with anticipation. She carefully pushed aside the daisies. Having no shovel, they used a small gardening spade from the greenhouse attached to the cottage. The soil was soft, indicating purposeful burying. Soon, something solid brushed against the metal spade. They uncovered a wooden box wrapped in layers of plastic. Inside was a puzzle box, carved with lotus and rose motifs. Carefully, Lily slid back the top, her breath catching. Inside lay an exquisite old locket, encrusted with tiny sapphires. Next to it was an aged piece of parchment, edges frayed. Lily's fingertips buzzed with awe as she lifted the locket. It looked antique, a family heirloom perhaps. Then, with April leaning over her shoulder, she unfolded the parchment. At first glance, it appeared to be a property deed from Petalwood Grove's earliest days, detailing a substantial tract of land belonging to the Price family. Handwritten notes in Miss Price's graceful script explained, "The fortune is in this land. Its orchard and gardens will soon be worth a small fortune as the town expands. Keep the orchard a place of peace. Grow with it, share its fruit, and prosper, Lily. This is my legacy to you, so that you might continue sharing your gifts with others." A wave of emotion washed over Lily. She gazed at the locket, shimmering in the dim light. A single thought filled her heart. Miss Price never wanted her to find just money. She wanted Lily to inherit a living gift, something that would sustain her and the community for years. The orchard was rumored to be prime property, destined for redevelopment. Now Lily realized the significance. Miss Price had protected it from commercial expansion, leaving it to Lily, a caretaker who would honor the land rather than exploit it. April rested a comforting hand on Lily's shoulder. "So this is the fortune, an opportunity to protect something precious." "Yes," Lily murmured, tears gathering at the corners of her eyes. She looked at the puzzle box, the orchard deed and the locket as if they were wondrous relics from a woman who had always taught her that true wealth was in the spirit, the breath, and the love one shared. Now, Miss Price's final puzzle made perfect sense. She'd concealed instructions about how to find the orchard's deed and keep it safe from any who might destroy it for profit. As they left the garden, the hush of night settled. Lily felt an echo of Miss Price's presence in the soft rustling of daisies. She recalled the last message from the tapes, the forewarning that not all that glitters is gold. Indeed, her gift was not a treasure chest of jewels, but a living orchard. Yet to Lily, it felt more valuable than any stack of coins or precious stones. In the weeks that followed, Lily worked diligently with Petalwood Grove's local attorney to transfer the orchard deeds properly into her name. She learned Miss Price family had owned that orchard for generations, leaving it unregistered in modern county records, a quiet secret known only to Ms. Price. Now the orchard would be an extension of Lily's yoga sanctuary. She could imagine locals gathering for open-air classes among the fruit trees, tasting fresh apples or peaches in the shade. Word spread through Petalwood Grove that Lily Caldwood had inherited a chunk of the old Price orchard. Rumors abounded. Some insisted it was a gold mine. Others suspected Lily might build a fancy spa. But Lily gently assured neighbors that she wanted to keep it accessible and free from big commercial projects. With the orchard's produce and a little initiative, she could easily support her yoga studio's expansion, perhaps even host wellness retreats. On a bright Saturday morning, Lily invited a small group of friends, including April and Mr. Pendleton, to the orchard for a celebration of sorts. They gathered near the orchard's edge, where Miss Price once strolled. Fresh blossoms burst from the apple trees, filling the air with delicate fragrance. Lily placed a small framed photo of Miss Price on a wooden table alongside daisies and roses. She silently thanked her former instructor for this beautiful legacy. As the festivities continued, Lily told Mr. Pendleton, "I owe you so much for your expertise in unraveling the tapes," he chuckled. "I only did a small bit, Lily. You were the one who discovered the deeper meaning behind Ms. Price's instructions. But I must say, it's nice to have a real treasure hunt in such a cozy place." April stood by, sipping punch. "Lily, Miss Price knew exactly what she was doing. She left you the orchard not just for material support, but to ensure her spiritual teachings live on. Your classes will help people just like her classes help you." Lily nodded, recalling Miss Price's voice urging her to find her path. She placed a hand over the locket draped around her neck, feeling the cool metal press against her skin. "I won't let her down." By late afternoon, the orchard glimmered in golden sunlight. Children ran between the rows of blossoming trees, their laughter mingling with the hum of bees. Adults sipped lemonade and remarked on the orchard's tranquil beauty. In time, Lily led a short yoga session on the orchard grass, guiding them through gentle poses. The sense of community was palpable. Like Miss Price had hoped, the orchard was now a living extension of Lily's practice. A place for reflection, health, and unity. Once everyone dispersed, Lily lingered under a particularly tall apple tree. Its branches were like the arms of a guardian, much like that mighty oak by the library. She felt Miss Price's presence in every leaf, and she remembered the reverse tapes, whose discoveries reminded her that life's biggest rewards often come in subtle ways, uncovered only by the patient and the curious. In the weeks and months ahead, Lily would carefully develop the orchard, keeping it a public sanctuary rather than a private commodity. She had a vision: orchard paths for meditative walks, a small wooden platform for yoga classes, and a monthly farmers' market where local produce and crafts could be sold. If Miss Price's generosity was to be shared, Lily wanted everyone in the village to benefit. The orchard hidden in the tapestry of Petalwood Grove would stand as a testament to the idea that wealth could be sown into the earth itself, blossoming with time and care. Before she turned to leave that evening, Lily closed her eyes and breathed in the orchard's sweet fragrance. She recalled the sounds of those reversed instructions and the excitement of discovering Miss Price's secret message. Petalwood Grove's gentle mysteries once again revealed a deeper truth. What might be hidden in plain sight often waits for just the right heart and mind to uncover it, and Lily, guided by her love for yoga and her unwavering bond with her late teacher, had unlocked not just a fortune, but a legacy that would continue to nurture the community for years to come.